A humongous creature, living on an isolated island, away from the eyes of such ordinary humans. Possessing incredible physical strength and unimaginable intelligence, he was considered the eighth wonder of the world. Meet King Kong, the king of the jungle. Now this is the question most of us who watching King Kong have always wondered. What if King Kong was real? What would happen to him, and to us? This is Wildpedia, and this is what would happen if King Kong existed. King Kong, or Kingu Kongu, as it is pronounced in Japanese, has been a popular culture figure for almost a century. Appearing in comic books, television, video games, and cinemas. With over 12 films made about this humongous gorilla, we seem to know quite a lot about this guy. If you've seen any of the King Kong films, then you likely know his appearance and size tend to vary. In all of his appearances, Kong mostly resembles a giant silverback gorilla, with either light black or brown fur. Kong varies between knuckle walking like a real gorilla, and walking bipedally and upright like a human, sometimes utilizing both forms of locomotion in the same film. Based on his most recent movie, Kong is estimated to be about 148 feet tall, and weighs about 50,000 tons. That's almost 600,000 times the size of an adult human.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Theoretically, the largest animal that can exist without being crushed by the Earth's gravitational pull is 1,100 tons. So even if Kong was a wee bit lighter, it would still be too heavy. Meaning to withstand the Earth's gravity, he must have extremely strong bones. And according to the square cube law, if an animal were isometrically scaled up by a considerable amount, its relative muscular strength would be severely reduced. As a result of this, cardiovascular and respiratory functions would be severely burdened. I mean, there's still a lot to explicate, but it explains why giants can't no longer exist. Now put that aside, do you think that King Kong would still be hiding somewhere in the forest, waiting for a perfect time to show himself? And with that enormous appearance, how much food is enough for Kong to sustain his energy? Since Kong is a mammal, his dietary requirements would be quite demanding. Larger animals tend to have lower metabolic rates, but it's reasonable to expect that Kong would consume truckloads of food every day. Since an average adult male gorilla eats approximately 50 pounds of food daily, about 1/8 of its body weight, we can roughly guess that Kong would need at least 7,500 pounds of food per day. To put that in human terms, that's about 15,000 Big Macs. That's quite a lot though. I mean, 3 Big Macs are all I can possibly consume in one sitting. Kong has always had a reputation for being a remarkably intelligent and perceptive monster. As a primate, Kong is naturally smarter than most, if not all, other titans. He has the ability to use his environment to his advantage, can recognize friend from foe, and is also capable of using tools to win his battles. He also uses sign language to communicate. And since we're pretty familiar with him, we know that Kong is simply just a gentle giant trying to live his life. In all of his appearances, Kong is portrayed as a tragic and sympathetic monster. He lives a very solitary and difficult existence, constantly being attacked by the vicious giant creatures that live on his island. Kong rarely attacks unless provoked, and is capable of causing mass destruction due to his size and strength, which causes human beings to fear and attack him. And also, he has a soft spot for human women, and will do anything to protect a woman that he likes, whether it be battling against another monster, or battling military forces. he might as well change his name to Kong the Simp as soon as possible. Okay. So would Kong harm humans if he existed? Well, I think that must be pretty serious. Now, if he was stuck on Skull Island with no way of really leaving, then we wouldn't have much to worry about, considering he just wants to live the life of his own. But I don't think scientists would leave him there. They would probably try to do research on him. And I prefer letting the guy freely roaming his jungle because he wouldn't want to be the test subject of any kind. And that's the end of the story. We'd be none the wiser and life would continue on. However, if somehow and some way, the beast was able to ask for a ride and cross the Indian Ocean, and got closer to civilization, things would change drastically. Because at the end of the day, every monstrous giant creature that appears would pose a great threat to humans. Meaning everything we do would easily provoke the beast, then surely he would inflict damage as well. If Kong was real and let's say, he's in New York City, he likely wouldn't necessarily run around wreaking havoc in the same manner. If anything, he'd probably just be very scared to be in a foreign environment. And I can assure you right now, he wouldn't climb the Empire State Building, as it would simply just crumble at Kong's first grip. Still, that doesn't mean that our monstrous giant wouldn't cause mass destruction, as he was just trying to get away. I mean, we would probably be even more scared than him. So safe to say, there are only two ways King Kong being real can play out. Either he's on an island and just lives there until he ultimately dies, or things could play out like the movie. Either way, I still don't think Kong would want to harm a human if he sees one. After all, he is just a poor gentle giant trying to stay away from problems. He just wants a normal-ish life of his own, probably having a beautiful human girlfriend by his side. Well, isn't that the life we men always wanted? I think Kong would likely be more interested in having fun with his best friend Godzilla. Leading to another hypothesis that I think you might want to know. What if Godzilla was real? I'm excited already. But we will talk about this in another episode of Wildpedia. Thank you so much for watching our video. See you in another video of Wildpedia.